Then hello everybody and welcome to today's session. And today's session is about how to pray. So as we talk about how to pray, there are 3 points that we will bring forward in today's conversation. How to pray, who to pray to. So the first one being who to pray to, and the second one being how to pray, and who is it, what is prayer itself. What is prayer itself? I think we'll attack that one the first. What is prayer? So from the day that we are born, and then we are told that you know how to pray. If you need anything, just simply land up in that small little cubicle that we have assigned for God, that space in the house, and we go over there and we sit over there. When we want something, we do a little bit of bribing, that okay, you do this, then I'll do that. You make me pass this exam, and I'm going to give you chadhava for 10 rupees or 11 rupees. So so we make transactions with that little fellow who's sitting in that little cubicle, and that's where we are taught how to pray. You just keep putting out your demands out there. If your demand gets fulfilled, then you do your side of the transaction. And what is your side of the transaction? Which is pay this $10 or $50, or if you're very very rich, then pay $1,000 to God, and he's going to be very happy with this 1,000 rupees that you give to him. And forgetting that who is it that you are giving to? The one who has given, to us those 1,000 rupees. We are giving back to him, and that too as a bribe. So what is it that we do after that? We keep increasing our list of demands. We keep increasing our list of demands, and we keep asking for more and more. This unending pit which we are, something gets done, and then very quickly we have our next demand ready. Because where is a demand coming from? It's coming from lack. Wherever we have wishes for more and more and more, when we have wishes for more and more, then what is happening? Only lack and more lack, which is created inside of us. So while we are calling it a prayer, but what is it actually? It's simply an expression of our lack. We do all the pujas. We do, Navratri, and when we do this and that, and there is constantly, it's never an empty thing. There is constantly either a demand, or then otherwise, if we don't do this, then we are going to be punished, because this is a tradition that has happened for years and years. And now if we don't do this, then we are going to be punished. So what happens in that? Simply fear playing out. So what we call a prayer is actually not a prayer at all. It is a manifestation of our fears. It is a growth of our fear frequency. It is a growth of our lacks. And we sit in that temple and we look at that guy, and what frequency do we keep sending out to him? We keep sending out to him our fears, our anxieties, our lack. Guess what he is bound to do? This highest frequency of the universe that can manifest anything. What does he have to do for us? He has to manifest everything back at us, no matter what, but in that same frequency. He becomes a tool, a reflection of our own energy. Yes, even God, that picture of God, that statue of God that you have in your temple, will give you nothing but a reflection of your own energy. And so then what happens? So we are praying, we are simply praying. Well, we call it a prayer, which is our list of demands, and the unending list of demands. And that is how we understand prayer to be. And who are we praying to? We pray to this beautiful idol, a stone idol, sometimes a picture, or sometimes simply, sometimes we pray to the Paduka that we believe belongs to someone else, and it has been established in our temple. But never are we praying to our own self. To our own self? Of course not. We are not worth it. Whoever said we are God? No, we are so low, and God is so high. He is the overseer of everything. He is the one that everybody prays to. And I am nothing. I am simply nothing. And when I come from this place of being nothing and knowing nothing, I am not understanding who it is that I actually have to pray to. I have spoken 100 times on this place, on every other place. And today, during the days of this Devi, I am telling you, please, if you have not done so, do it. Go and put a mirror in your temple place. The face that you see in the mirror is the one that you need to pray. This is the place, this is the person, this is the entity that you need to pray towards. That is the person that you need to worship. That is the divinity that you need to get to understand, that this that you are seeing in the mirror is the divinity. This is the one that you haven't recognized. This is God. So when you understand that, and if you haven't understood it, it's very simple. You've got 40 different, well, at least in my temple, I've got 40 different gods. I haven't left out any religion because I talk to whoever I feel like talking to. I understand them as all as frequencies. A Shiva is a frequency of non judgment. The Krishna is a frequency of unconditional love. The Kali is a frequency of manifestation. The Durga is the frequency of motherness, the motherhood. Mani is the frequency of the fatherness, the father he is. So I understand everything as frequency. So all my friends that I want to talk to, on a day I want to talk to father, on a day I want to talk to mother, on a day I want that somebody should not judge me, and on a day I want to receive unconditional love, I speak to each of those frequencies, because who are those little pieces that are sitting in my temple? They are my forms. They are me. Because what is it that I have the most biggest, which is the biggest idol that I have in my temple? It's the mirror. It's this big. It's a really large mirror, as large as you see this painting at the back. It's that big a mirror, so that when I sit, no matter whether I sit on a chair and I'm looking at the temple, or I sit on the ground and I'm doing the puja, no matter what, I'm able to see the God, the main God that matters to me. I am a non ritualistic person, as most of you who know me as a person. I always talk about, there is, I don't believe in rituals. Rituals are largely done from fear. Rituals are done from fear. If you don't complete a ritual, then you have this fear, oh, what unceremonious event is going to happen to me because I haven't completed a ritual. I was supposed to be without food during these 9 days, and now today I ate. And so what happened to me? I've shared this story with many people, and this has all got to do with how to pray. Because when I was, and I shared this story, I don't know where I should share the story. I have so many groups these days. So, but I did share this story that about 2 years ago, when it was Navratri, I used to do in those days, that was the only ritual that I followed, um, that I would be on fruit diet for the 9 days. And I decided that I would be, and my journey had begun, and I decided that I would be on a fruit diet for 9 days. That was normal for me. I got up in the morning, and there is this very strong voice in my head saying, eat eggs. Ande khao ande. And I was like कि नहीं नहीं अंडे नहीं खाने के, अंडे तो मतलब I eat eggs. I'm a vegetarian, but I eat eggs, I eat cakes, I eat all of that. But in my head कि anda is not meant for these 9 days of Durga. So I said कि नहीं नहीं अंडे नहीं खाने के. And यूं कान के अंदर देवी आके and कि अंडे खाओ, अंडे खाओ. एंड मेरे को नहीं ही जाने दिया जब तक कि मैंने अंडे नहीं बनवाए और खाए. एंड शी सेड कि जो कुछ भी खा रहे हो वो बिना गिल्ट के, विदाउट गिल्ट, दैट तुमने कुछ भी तोड़ा. ये दिस राइटियसनेस दैट आई एम राइट एंड आई एम रॉन्ग, you leave this righteousness behind. Because in so many places, in so many temples, Kali temples, बलि चढ़ती है. People are, people sacrifice animals, and they are made to eat that animal's meat, and they are eating that meat as prasad. If it is prasad, is it right or wrong? So you let go of your limited ideas of right and wrong, and simply be in the state of joy. If it gives you joy, great. If it gives you fear ki ande kha liye, you've now eaten eggs, and now something really bad is going to befall upon me, because now Durga is going to, like, she was just waiting for me to commit this sin. And now that I've committed this sin, all hell is going to break loose upon me. If that's your thought, then you have to simply release your fears and bring yourself to peace. Why? Because Durga is playing on your team. Durga is part of the universe, and the universe is playing in my favor. So, why would you assume that a Durga will play from the opposite team? And just because you ate eggs, you ate eggs. For Durga, does it matter whether it's a Tuesday or a Monday or something? Is she not watching you on a Tuesday? Who told you that Tuesday is okay to not, Tuesday is not okay? But Wednesday is okay. Wednesday, God has gone to sleep. Now you can eat everything on Wednesday, but Tuesday you cannot eat. So, all of these fears that we keep in our mind, which are all related to traditions and related to all these rituals, and then we keep changing these rituals, and as we change them, we have to fight through so much fear. I've done this, now I'm going to get punished. And then we keep punishing ourselves. We spend so much time doing this. My mother is a Jain, and we have this one whole month of just repentance, and we do this repentance. And this is all the repentance also for what? We took this body form, and it is a part of this holiness, this divine, form, and we just simply took this body. And if I eat something, and if I'm made to eat something or drink something, well, I just leave it to them, saying it's your fault. If you make me eat it, I'm definitely not keeping this karma on my balance sheet. Already, I dropped my doership. So, the whole thing for you to do in all aspects of it, to release your doership. You are not the doer, you are actually the experiencer of all the crap that's sitting in your energies. You are the experiencer. You don't have anything in your hand. It's your energies that's creating all of this, and you don't understand. And you keep blaming yourself for it. You keep feeling guilty. You keep feeling fearful. In some places, you keep feeling joyful, but it's all your energy that's manifesting. And so, as you begin to understand that, please release all of the stuff that keeps you unhappy and live joyfully. That's when you are God. किसी को गॉड्स की स्टोरी सुनो, यू लिसन टू द गॉड स्टोरीज without any guilt. They will burn this, they will cut up this person, they will, strategize against this, that, and everything. They are living our lives, and so let's live the god lives as well. They are, let them live our god lives, let them do all the fighting. The Indra fellow is fighting with somebody else for power. Let them fight and live our lives, and let us live the lives of peace. One of the first few guidances that I received, I was told that you have to worship yourself. You are the Shiva, you are the Shakti. Put a mirror in your temple. So, all of you who keep hearing this, but right now have not gathered the funds to go buy a mirror, please ask me. I will send you 100 rupees. That's what a mirror costs. And then put it in your temple. And then, as you look into that place, into that mirror, recognize, recognize the Shiva that you are. The creator is the energy, but the energy belongs to you. You can hold that power when you understand, when you have left your programs of despair, when you have left your programs of helplessness. So that's the work to be done with the candle. जो दिया जलाते हो भगवान के सामने, that candle that you burn in front of your own picture now, please understand that into the candle, everything that is not suiting your purpose, every program of yours which is about pain, of suffering. So what if pain and suffering is manifesting? Why do you fear? Why do you fear pain? Why do you fear fear? Why do you fear anything that's happening around you? Either you have faith or you don't. If you don't have faith, then you have fear. If you have faith, you can't have fear. You can only be on one or those two sides of the coin. So choose your side of the coin. It is a coin, and that coin doesn't stand, vertical. That coin has to, the minute you toss it up, in every situation, you have two choices: to choose fearlessness or to choose faith. I choose faith. That's all there is to it. Life is masti. I don't have to do anything. Dress up in this fancy dress form and appear over here, and everybody gives so much love to me that I'm totally having masti. And that's what godliness is all about. Just to have masti. So the other day, again, stories and stories of who we are praying to and why we are praying to the external and why we don't recognize that and why don't we internalize our divinity. We see it in others. Oh, Mahan Sant. Bahar we can see. Outside we are able to see divine forms appearing left, right, and center. I mean, Shiva's in them and Shiva's in them. All right, then how about looking at the Shiva in you? The Shiva in you is not about I have sinned and therefore I must atone. No, you are the manifested form. That energy had all kinds of crazy programs in it. It created you. Now let's look at it and let's release all the programs that are not working for us and that God that is sitting in our energy form. Let that be a little lighter. Our job is not to manifest. When people come to me saying, I want to manifest $1 million deal, I want to manifest a very beautiful body, I want to manifest a beautiful relationship. And I tell everybody, our job is not to manifest this on the physical platform. Our job is to simply release the wishes into the fire. Just swaha karo. Why? Because I only understand that the more wishes we manifest, the more wishes we create. We can't manifest the wishes, those have to be done by the energy field. But the more wishes we create and leave in the air, the more wishes we create and leave hanging, we got to be bloody keep coming back circles and circles and circles to fulfill those wishes. And you know what, I release my wishes, and yet every once in a while when I'm told, okay, it's your last minute now, I actually don't think about, okay, it's my last minute. Who should I call? Who do I want to see for the last minute? The only question that every time people, I've received death experiences a few times. And the only time I'm told, okay, it's your last minute, I start to scan. I start to scan and say, okay, do I have a wish outside that is open, that maybe just formed, last week, and I'm unaware of that wish. So please bring it to me so that I can close it. And then as soon as that wish is clear, dekho, here is what you wished 2 weeks ago, and this one is not yet, come to your fruition, and it's lying open. And when I'm told it's your last moment, I'm like, okay, okay, if this, so what? If not, so what? And as soon as I say that, as soon as I'm able to bring that to my heart, and in that moment I come to equanimity, and as I come to equanimity in that moment, the wish is released. So bringing yourself to equanimity, for every wish we empty ourselves of our lack frequencies. When we empty ourselves of our lack, we start to sit a little bit more and more on the opposite side. And in our energy field, we start to collect a little bit more of our abundant self. And when we are abundant, who are we? We are Krishna, Shiva, Jesus, Nanak, everybody rolled into one. Yes, they look different in this body form, but then those are energies. And so, please, we are all rolled into one, only we need to recognize our own divinity. A lot of people in the last 10 days have been seeing my energy. I understand that yes, my energy has made its final shift. I'm struggling and I share my stories of struggle. with many of you on the group about not just my headaches, but also now I'm told you can't release. There is nobody to release your pain to. You are everything. Who will you release anything to? So, as I now become that, there is no releases. I have to accept everything and allow everything. I feel jealousy. I can't release my jealousy. I feel anger. I can't release my anger. So, now in the last 1 month, I'm unlearning many of the things that I have been teaching you, and this journey will happen to all of you as well rather shortly, because you're all tuned into Meenal energy. So now we are all heading straight for the source, and that's the energy jump right now. But here's the most beautiful part: as you jump into that, I'm writing the instruction manual already. So when you come to these headaches and these nonsensical, ab kya karu, ab kya karu, I will have the answers for you, and I'm already sharing the answers for you. So again, not fearing anything, just accepting that we are the source, and we are getting there soon in fullness, in full awareness of the source that we are. Your energies are tuning into mine. You have no choice but to become the source. But going back to how do we pray? So here is it. We answered what is a prayer. A prayer is not a transaction with God. And let's keep that to the side for a little bit. Prayer is simply those 2 minutes of silence that you spend with yourself. Only 2 minutes of silence with zero thought. And many of you, when you tune into Meenal energies these days, you sit in a lot of blankness. Please understand that that is your prayer. That silence, that bliss, what I've actually started, I've been telling many of you who get into that silent space that it's moksha. That is the moksha. So please sit in moksha. And as you sit in moksha, abhi to pehle to you were swargvasi, and now you've become mokshvasi. As you sit in that blankness, in that bliss, understand that that is simply your prayer time. That is how you pray. You sit in blankness without any asks, no asks, a list empty, empty list, and that's a prayer, unconditional, and that's your prayer. And then you come to this point: who are you praying to? Yes, now you know, to that mirror. You just look at that person in the mirror, and then you give them unconditional love. No judgment. No judgment of how that face is looking, how many wrinkles have come up on that face, how many, how many years are showing up. Oh, the hair is looking so bad. Oh, the body has become so fat. No judgment at all. Oh, I wish this was shorter. Oh, I wish this was smaller, and all of that. No judgment. Have you ever looked at a shivling, any form, anything, and judge the shivling? We don't judge the size of that shivling, the size of the temple. We simply go over there and we bow to that divine and we come out. And that's what you have to do with that person that you see in the mirror. So we do that and we sit in silence, and you can do the meditation, but that silence without any ask, unconditional, unconditional love to the self, is the prayer. So as many of you are already aware, and many of you who came to my website earlier, I had received these 4 lines from Mani a long time ago, and that was the time when he told me that your website is going to be called My Prayer for You. Your organization is going to be called My Prayer for You. Here's the lines that he gave: As I follow, I become the follower. As I follow, I'm called what? I'm called a follower. As I teach, I become the teacher. But when I pray, I become the prayer. I become the prayer itself. I become the offering itself. So, understanding that we don't call the person who prays as a prayer. No, we have a very different, very different idea of what a prayer is. The prayer is the offering. But what Mani said to me at that time is that when you pray, you become the offering. So, how beautiful is it that you on this side are the one praying? The prayer that you have become is the offering, and the one that you are praying to is you. So there is you, and you everywhere. You are the Shiva. You are the one that you are praying to, and you are the one that is being prayed to, and you are the offering itself. So, all of every place where you see, you are seeing the divinity in yourself. Who do you pray to? Okay, done. That you pray to yourself. What what is it that you do normally when you pray with your anxieties and your wish list? Understand that you're calling it a prayer, but it is actually not a prayer. It is you. It is you and your anxieties. It's actually anxieties that you are calling as your prayer. It's your worries that you're calling as a prayer. So instead of that, simply clearing out all those thoughts, all those wishes, and sitting in silence for a couple of minutes and being in gratitude. Being in gratitude is where the prayer actually becomes unconditional. You're in gratitude for everything that you are receiving because the universe is playing in your favor and you are Shiva. So, the only way that a prayer is a prayer is a prayer is when you have nothing on your list, nothing on your ask list, and you can simply be in gratitude for all that you have received. When people sometimes come to me and say, yeah, I'm sitting in blankness these days, but I feel empty. And I said, if you are not feeling that joy of being in this life form, then simply come into gratitude. Yes, you are empty. That's beautiful. Yes, you have no thoughts. That's even more beautiful. And yet, come into gratitude because that's the piece that's missing. We offer our gratitude to ourselves, and that becomes a prayer. I hope I've answered this. How to pray? It's not about 108 beads. So many people come to me and say, oh, I'm doing 108 ka mala. And I said, lucky you, because I don't understand the accounting bit at all. I don't think that my God is sitting with his accounting books in hand and saying, okay, has Meenal completed her 108 ka prayer or not? Oh, today she hasn't? Okay, I'm not going to give her what she wanted because she only did 106. She skipped two in the middle. So I actually don't do the 108 at all. I teach people, and I have my mala. I taught it in the morning, and I have this, and I always have very large beads. And it's so funny because I tell people that when I say the mantra, I am awesome. Because what happens for most of us, when we have come in the duality space, we have come to experience lack of love. 90% of the time, I would say 99% of the time, when people come to me, the mantra that comes to me for them is simply, I am awesome. And so when they are going through the mantra, or when I go through the mantra, then I sit on this one bead till I can feel the awesomeness in myself. As I say, I am awesome. I am awesome. I am awesome. As I say these words to myself, I have to start to believe in my own awesomeness. What happens initially? A lot of complaints. If I was that awesome, then my life would not look like this. My life would look different if I was that awesome. What is it that you are judging right now? Yourself. Your journey is what you are judging. Your energy, what you are creating right now, more energies of judgment. Instead of that, so I'm still here. I haven't moved from this bead. And what do? There's that candle in front of me because I'm praying. So I start to throw my judgments into the candle. I'm still on this one bead. At any point in time when I sit for beads and I can barely reach 10, I don't even cross 10 because by the 10th bead, I have already, that day's mantra is over and I'm totally feeling my own awesomeness on every bead. My job is done. The only person that is counting is me. And yes, 108 might be a very, very auspicious number. But then for me, every number is auspicious. 1 is auspicious, 5 is auspicious, 13 is auspicious. That's who I am. I am divinity myself. Every number belongs to me. So when we start to release all the fears of all of this, then even the mala will become shorter and shorter. Yesterday, because my head was hurting, I sat down and I was told, pick up the mala. So I picked up the mala. As I started to do the mala, the I am awesome mantra has become a bit old. I don't normally have to get into that space. But the yesterday, the mantra that came to me was, your actions have no consequence. Your actions have no consequence. And so basically, your karma is without consequence. Speak this mantra and understand this mantra and take this mantra to your heart. So I actually did the same thing, put one bead, and then I said, okay, my actions have no consequence. And then immediately in my life, my old life, I was shown a place where I had blamed myself for a consequence that happened. And I was made to release that consequence, saying, no, no, no. It was not your action that created that consequence. It was your energy that created that consequence. And now that energy is long gone. So I release. So I began to release in this way each of those incidents that kept popping up. That no, here I created guilt in myself, that no, I spoke badly to this person, and for that reason, my relationship with that person became bad. I fought with that person, and that's why this happened. And I just released that, saying, no, my actions don't have consequence. And my actions don't have a consequence. My actions are simply the actions that I'm being told to do by by my guides. What they tell me to do, I follow. If they tell me to scream at someone, I scream. My actions have no consequence. If they tell me, this actor, I have to play an actor and hurt you, I hurt you. My actions have no consequence. And so this is what I was told yesterday. Your actions have no consequence. And so I stayed with that, and I did my mala. How many? Eight. Eight beads of mala is all that I could reach, and my mala was done. So all the fears of rituals and all the rituals itself, Nahake, you have to have a bath before you sit in the temple. Many of you heard my story about Calcutta and how Kali gave me darshan in Calcutta. And that video, when we had that live session, many of you sat in those energies, those beautiful energies, and you understood that boon that we received that day. And yet, what was I told that day? Don't take a bath. I was told that day to not take a bath and simply go and sit as I was. So I didn't take a bath, and it was broken. That thing that I need to be, clean in my body to become divine. No, I am already divine, irrespective of what my body looks like, irrespective of what my body drinks, what my body eats. That's my property. That I came Shiva. I'm a part of the source. If I'm a part of the ocean, that drop is the ocean itself. Am I part of the divinity? Then I am divinity itself. So understand this and bring this understanding over here. No logic needed, whether you are good or you are bad. In all moments, at all times, you are the Devi, you are the Shakti, you are the Shiva. When work comes to you to do something, you are guided or something guides you, and then it triggers you, then work has come on you. And if it doesn't trigger you, then I actually, people say, oh, I worked on my guidance and now it's not triggering me. It's not triggering me anymore, so now I won't do it. And I follow it to another step, that okay, guidance came and now I'm not getting triggered, so now let me do what the guidance is telling me to do. It becomes the final litmus test for me. The litmus test which tells you, has your fear actually been released or not? So when I'm being told in guidance, ye kar jao, and it's a big step for me to take, and the first thing I start to do is release my fears. And then people tell me that, yeah, I've done my guidance and now it doesn't bother me anymore, so now I'm not going to do it. And that's okay. They don't need to test it. But I am this funny person, and I say, okay, if the fears are actually released, then it shouldn't bother me at all as to whether I do it or not. So let me go ahead and jump out of the window. because that's what the guidance told me. And so I follow my guidance, and the guidance either changes by the time I reach the window, or something else happens. And I'm always, with this thought that even if I jump out the window, the universe is playing in my favor. If I fall and I die, universe is totally playing in my favor. If I fall and I break 20 bones, universe is totally playing in my favor. If the guidance changes, the universe is totally playing in my favor. In all instances, the universe is playing in my favor. I am the divinity, I am playing in my favor. And that's the answer. I'm actually going to go back out and do that funny meditations that we've been doing. See you in a minute.